Terastallization is the most controversial topic in human history. Is it the greatest thing that's ever happened to gaming? Is it the worst mechanic ever dreamed up by Game Freak? You're going to hear widely differing opinions on this matter from person to person. It's incredibly divisive. It looks as if we're once again going to attempt to address it in the Smogon singles community with Finchinator's post here. A survey was done. Another survey about Tera. The whole community was asked, what do you think about Tera? Do you think something should be done? Most people said yes. This was the whole player base. 62.3% of the whole player base. 64.7% of the qualified player base, which means people who are high rank, playing tournaments, Smogon gamers, believe something should be done, which is most of the community. Now, this is just a small Google survey. Not everyone in the world answered this, but the people who care enough to answer it overwhelmingly want something to be done. And don't panic, folks, because I don't think anyone wants to ban the mechanic straight up, at least at first, right? I think that they made some errors with the previous terastal spec, and I don't blame them. They were in a rushed position and a strange position with Pokemon Home on the horizon, this very divisive issue, a very unbalanced metagame, to be honest, and they're kind of between a rock and a hard place. No matter what these guys do, a huge portion of the community is going to be furious about it. When they did nothing about Tera, when it wasn't banned, a lot of people were upset. If it was banned, a lot of people would also have been upset. This is a lose-lose situation for the Smogon fellas, and I don't envy their positions. But I do think that some of the restrictions that they proposed before, like only one Pokemon on the team is allowed to Tera, or you can only Tera to one of your snap types. I think those were bad additions, and it kind of diluted things. In my eyes, the most clean and obvious solution has always been, we should try revealing Tera types on Team Preview. It's literally what VGC does, the official format endorsed by Game Freak. So in the official competitive format for Pokemon, you know exactly what all the enemies' Tera types are. You can't get caught off guard by a random type. Even they have some understanding of the fact that a Pokemon being able to come a completely different type unpredictably is a little bit of a broken concept, or it's not very competitive. It introduces a lot of guessing games, and it's not very satisfying. It's not very fun. Maybe it's fun for you if you get the good matchup fish, but that's not a competitive experience, I think. We don't want to outright ban this new funny mechanic, do we? We want to try it out. A lot of people have said that this won't solve the problem. Tera will continue to be game-breaking. It will continue to push Pokemon over the edge repeatedly. There's an ambulance in the background, forgive me. That's coming for me. I just played against a Terra-flying King Gambit, and I'm deceased. I mean, a lot of you guys act like you're ascended Zen monks who never get frustrated with this game. You take everything in stride. You're a perfect mental fortress. But let's be honest. If you click Will-O-Wisp against a King Gambit and they Terra Fire, they Swords Dance, and you lose on the spot based on that one decision, it's a little bit annoying, isn't it? It's a little bit stupid. I think that you could honestly, every battle, change King Gambit's Tera type or set at random, and it wouldn't make that much difference to your team. Every single time you queue up, change your King Gambit set with like a dice roll. And I think the team would function the same. King Gambit does the same thing. It's not like the Tera type is imperative, but it just beats different things. And how am I supposed to know if it's Tera Fire, I Will-O-Wisp into it and the game's over, or whatever the hell? Singles is a volatile environment where one turn can decide everything. Tera is particularly game-breaking in singles, especially when you can't see it. Some people would argue that revealing Tera types would remove a layer of nuance to the game, the hidden information, the creativity of a novel Tera type on something, or the improving of one matchup by a surprise Tera type. There is that element, but I think more often than not, these random unseen Tera types, they'll secure the advantage of a broken offensive threat when it needs it. Dragonite, Baxcalibur, King Gambit, whatever. Or you'll become the perfect defensive type like Tera Fairy, Tera Steel exactly when you need it. What I like about Tera is the element of decision making of when to use it. Do I use it to make my defensive guy Water or Fairy and become unwallable? Do I use it to get a free turn of setup and clear the game? Do I use it for just living a single hit to take out something important? There is a lot of like cool decision making that goes into that, but I do think that revealer Tera types would keep that element, at least mostly keep that element of Tera intact, while removing the element that's annoying and kind of random and a bit difficult to play around. At least I think. As some people down here have brought up the point that maybe we should have a suspect ladder to test out a restriction before we go forward with a ban that hasn't been tested yet, right? We could have a ladder where Tera types are revealed on preview, test that out for a bit, see what the community feels about it, see if certain Pokemon are still broken in that environment, and go from there, which I think is a good idea. I think Smogon has moved away from doing the suspect ladders, but I think in this case, with an issue like this, it might be a good idea because this is something that's going to wildly change the game in a way no one can possibly predict. We can only theorize, we can only speculate. To actually see a restriction in action without officially altering OU, I think would be a good idea, and I don't see why not, other than the fact that maybe splitting the community a bit, but it's just a test, you know, it's not going to be a temporary thing. Everything's unclean right now in terms of decision making. Like I said, it's whatever you do is going to have people who love it and hate it. I think that honestly, doing a test ladder with testing a restriction would be a good way to go, in my opinion. I don't know if there'd be something wrong with that I'm not seeing, or what others think, but yeah, some people have brought that up in this thread, and I would agree with that. I think that a test ladder with revealed Tera types on team preview, good place to start. Everyone would be happy with that. It doesn't change current OU. Maybe I'll change my mind after trying it out, who knows? That's what I think would be a good idea. Perhaps others disagree. What do you think would be a good place to start addressing this issue? Do you think nothing should be done in the game's perfect? Do you think the mechanic should be completely banned without consulting anybody? Do you think that a dictator should take over Smogon and ban everything and ruin all of our lives? I think that should happen. What's been your favorite application of terastallization so far, folks? For me, I really enjoy Terra Bug Cerulege. I think that's an epic set. I don't know if it's that viable in current OU. In pre-home OU, it was pretty good. And what's your least favorite? My least favorite, definitely Volcarona. It's already gone, but Volcarona was very annoying with all its possible Tera types and the complete guessing game of how to actually answer it. Let me know down below, folks. And keep things civil. This is just a video game. No need to get angry about any of this towards anyone. People are very aggressive towards Smogon. I find it a bit bizarre. Leave them alone. It's just a game. I find it very strange. I mean, if you don't like Smogon formats, you can simply not play them. If you like Smogon formats, but you don't like a decision that's been made or the direction they're going with the format, you can simply say so in a way that isn't absurdly aggressive. Some of the stuff I see is seriously, you guys gotta calm the hell down. Some of you. Anyway, I'll catch you later. See you, folks. Thank you to the patrons. Become a patron to appear on this excellent end screen alongside your favorite Pokemon.
The money got different 'cause of what I'm spending. The money got different.
Oh, it's
'cause of what
Magneton!
I'm spending.
Oh,
The money
KO
got
by
different.
one hit! It
'cause
scattered
of what I'm
spikes!
spending. The money got different.